Welcome to Electric Invest. My name is Michael, and today I'm going to talk about some Tesla news. And I found some juicy news that I just think are going to be very, very important, specifically for those people that are still thinking about buying more Tesla shares and they want to find a new dip. So first of all, I'm going to talk about the ramp up of Tesla in India because there's some new information that just came out recently. I'm also going to talk about a 158,000 vehicle recall for Model S and Model X that Tesla has been asked by the federal government. And last but not least, the last piece of news that I want to talk about also is the bullish price targets from Dan Ives, from Wedbush, the guy that has a bull case of Tesla reaching over $1,000 a share. And now he's talking about up to $2 trillion, which is nothing new to us Tesla investors. But if this sounds like something that you're interested on and you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe to Electric Invest and hit the notification bell so you don't miss the next video on Tesla. Let's begin. So first I want to start with the tweet that Elon Musk sent a few hours ago today saying, as promised, on Twitter from Tasmanian.com, in which they were reporting on Tesla's ramp up on India. And they were also giving some information about India of being a much better market than people give credit to. And this is because India is extremely huge. They have over 1.3 billion people in population. And they did end up addressing the fact that a lot of people think that India is not a good market for Tesla because, there are luxury cars and who's going to buy cars in India? A lot of the people in India don't make even enough. But they give a little bit of context in this article explaining that is actually not the case. When it comes to the over 1.3 billion people in India, there's actually an estimated 53 million people who live in India that are upper class, that are actually in the demographic that can afford a Tesla, especially a Model 3 or a Model Y, which are the most popular Teslas right now. And let's face it, when Tesla introduces the $25,000 Tesla, it's going to sell even better. And quite frankly, it's not that surprising for me to read that in the article, because when you have a population that is so large, 1.3, almost 1.4 billion, even if you have a very relatively small size of the population, let's say 10% or 5%, that can afford a Tesla or have enough income to be able to afford luxury cars, because Teslas are still considered luxury cars, obviously. Even with that small percentage, the population in India is so large by comparison that small number is going to be in the millions. And I mean, come on, even if 2 million people from India decide to buy Teslas, that is literally 4 times more of the deliveries that Tesla did in 2020. So in their article, they report that Tesla is in talks with officials from 5 states in India to open stores, an office, an R&D center, and possibly a factory production. So that's right, the talks about the factory in India is actually still in the plans. We still don't know yet, but this is something that gets me extremely excited because it would definitely broaden the volume of cars that Tesla is going to do in India. Not only will the $25,000 Tesla be a huge sell in a place like India with an estimated 53 million people that are in the middle to upper class that can afford a Tesla, it would actually reduce the exchange rates, the additional fees that you have to pay. This is just according to the article. This is basically just the market that could potentially afford a Tesla in India. It doesn't mean that obviously this is how much it's going to be, but the bigger the people that can afford a Tesla within a country like India, the better. In India, it is the 53 million upper middle class professionals that are Tesla's addressable market, a market which has frequently expressed significant interest and which, thanks to a low cost of living, has disproportionate disposable income relative to total income. And they actually have a tremendously good point. Everybody knows that, for example, the cost of living in the United States is a lot more expensive. If you're making $2,000 in the United States, in most places, you're not going to live very good. Most rents in the United States is about $2,000. But here's the thing. If you decide to move to Mexico and you're making those same $2,000, let's say that you work remotely, for an online community or online business or maybe a YouTube channel, for example, where you make money regardless of where you are. If you move to Mexico, for example, or India, those $2,000 are going to be a lot more valuable because the expenses in those countries are adjusted to the amount of money that people can make. So those $2,000 in India or Mexico would be more like if you're earning $10,000 here. So you're going to be just like somebody who's making well over 6 figures. So they do actually have a point. And we're going to find out a little bit more about that. I am extremely excited because let me tell you guys, in my opinion, personally, you see what happened in China, it's a huge population. Not everybody's rich. China is also another story where a lot of the population is not even up to par with the first world countries in terms of income. And look how much of an impact, Tesla has had in China. I mean, they're projecting 550 150,000 deliveries in China alone by the end of 2021. That's right, basically the entirety of 2020's deliveries from China alone this year. So imagine what would happen in India if it's true that 53 million upper middle class can afford Teslas, and on top of that, Tesla ramps up the $25,000 vehicle and a facility within inside of India. That way, they don't have extra expenses from having to bring Teslas from China and other countries. I mean, it's just mind-blowing. The volumes are going to be huge. It wouldn't even surprise me if by 2023 or 2024, we're doing 1.2 million deliveries inside of India alone. Again, we can't talk too much about the future, but this is my reasoning. If you guys disagree with me, let me know in the comment section below. It's no biggie, specifically to talk to people who agree or either disagree with me. And it's just good to talk about the companies that we invest, and it's good, healthy conversation. Moving along, the next piece of story that I want to talk about, which is extremely huge, that I mentioned in the beginning of the video, was the 158,000 vehicle that the federal government has asked Tesla to recall. And I find this very interesting because I know that some analysts are going to be using this as an opportunity to bring down the stock a little bit. They're going to be having shaky hands. You know, I'm not predicting the future. This is not financial advice. Personally, I'm not selling. I don't recommend anybody to sell. You guys have to do your own due diligence. But based on this, we know that a lot of people tend to use this type of events. Oh my God, 158,000 vehicles recalled? Wow, that is a lot. That's over 30% of the entire input that Tesla did in 2020. But getting into the details of the story, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration has asked Tesla to recall some 158,000 Model S and Model X vehicles that could suffer from falling display consoles, according to a letter published by the agency on Wednesday. The failures of the media control units can serve the owner's access of the vehicle's backup camera, climate control, and Tesla's Autopilot driver assist systems, increasing the risk of crash. They're asking Tesla to replace worn-out memory chips in the displays of the Model S and Model X's from 2012 to 2018. And they say that every time customers turn on the Teslas, it basically eats away on the entirety of the 8GB memory card that's inside. But I believe, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, that is a very easy fix. I mean, I think that Tesla just has to install a larger memory, but they're basically saying that, you know, if Tesla doesn't do this, by 2022, the screen is going to fail on all of these Teslas. But again, they're blowing it out of proportion. Everybody is covering this story. So I said, okay, a lot of newcomers coming into Tesla are going to read this and they're going to freak out. And that's why I said, you know what? In today's episode, I'm going to include this story.
Tesla was asked by the NHTSA to recall around 158,000 vehicles due to touchscreen failures. Now, this recall really mostly impacts older Model S and Model X sedans and SUVs. But is this a concern at all from a Wall Street perspective?
No. I mean, you know, they'll fix it. I mean, you know, Tesla is a tech company, and sometimes you have to recall things. There's so much tech in those cars. But no, it's not going to cause a shortfall in sales going forward, and that's what matters.
I understand that it's a little bit of a safety concern. That's fine. That's totally fine. But unlike ICE cars, that there's usually something really, really bad, or they don't have any control about the infotainment inside the car because they didn't build it, Tesla can just literally say, hey, come over, we'll replace the flash card very easily. It just doesn't take that long. Or here you go, we'll send it to you. But again, I'm only mentioning it because they're blowing it out of proportion. And a lot of people that don't know anything about Tesla and have shaky hands may probably be a little bit concerned. And last but not least, the last piece of news that I want to talk about in this video is the analyst from Wedbush, Dan Ives, who's being extremely bullish about Tesla because of the China ramp up and everybody else is renting.
We've seen the battery tech. We've seen the sales for Tesla. What's the next rabbit they can pull out of the hat?
Well, I think now, I mean, to your point, that's a great way to put the market. It's about execution. I still think you're looking at a company that could do 750,000, potentially 800,000 units this year. Gross underestimated, profitability is underestimated. And I think what you're seeing in these valuations, remember, me and you have talked about many times, not an auto company. It's trade. In my opinion, it's a tech or disruptive to trade. We're talking about $1 trillion market, and you can really count on two hands the companies going after this market. They continue to execute the EV vision and flex. And I think ultimately a year or two from now, we're not just looking at $1 trillion for Tesla, but in a couple of years, this could be a company that could start to approach that $1.5–2 trillion market as they execute.
So, I have to agree with Dan Ives. He goes on saying that in a year or two, because Tesla is not just a car company, there's so much more about Tesla. Tesla, in the energy side, which is estimated to be 10 times larger than what the EV sector is today. If Tesla captures that, which we definitely see Tesla ramping up, Tesla's energy side of the business is going to end up being even larger than the vehicle segment. Meaning that in a few years, even if Tesla decided to stop selling all cars, stop selling all electric cars, the valuation would still be even larger than what it is today, just because of the energy sector and the energy storage. So this is huge. And he basically gives Tesla a bullish run and believe that we're definitely going to get to $2 trillion in the bull case from him. But again, a lot of analysts, especially, like Gordon Johnson, still spewing $40 a share channels talking about Tesla, being extremely overvalued. Literally, it's just crazy. I mean, take a look at this chart with the consensus where the average price for Tesla is still in the $500, literally on the street. It is just crazy, and I wanted to leave you guys with this because obviously it is basically where we believe Tesla is going to be headed, thanks to the fact that we know that Tesla still has a long way to go, especially not just from the EV sector, but also on the energy sector. But with that being said, let me know what you guys think about this episode. Let me know what you guys think about the news that happened. Do you think that Tesla having this recall of 158,000 vehicles is going to cause any turmoil on the Tesla stock tomorrow? And what about the India story? Do you guys believe that definitely India is going to be just as big and just as important as China is going to be when it comes to Tesla's ramp up for the high volumes to come? Let me know in the comment section below. I would love to read your comments and find out and learn from you guys as well. I didn't want to edit this video too much because again, I work every day and I'm trying to ramp up videos a little bit more. So I just wanted to share some news, what's happening with Tesla. If you're still watching up until this point and you haven't subscribed, don't forget to subscribe to Electric Invest and hit the notification bell so you don't miss the next video. And follow me on Twitter, electric_invest. I am very, very active on Twitter, and I would love to have conversations with you guys as well as share some extra news that I find on the side. And with that being said, I want to wish you guys a wonderful day or night, depending on what time you're watching this video, and I'll see you guys on the next video.